Joining me now is Annie Cyrus giving us an update on where we are with the acceptance of the 20-point peace plan by Hamas. Annie, our numbers last night were huge. Logan said they were as big as the night that we reported on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that they held for nearly 2 hours that they held. Clearly last night, people were interested in what we're saying. We are getting emails and texts, people thanking us. I think some people are very aware of what's happening, and we're not getting many negative emails at all. You know, the people that want to be cult members, they can be that. But the bulk of our audience wants to be discerning and wise and pursue truth. And last night was a real test to see what was going to happen. Because I don't care either way. I mean, I do care because I want people to respond the right way, but I don't care if we get negative, because my commitment is to do this for the right reason. I've been doing this going on now 36 years. And I have a history of being one of these guys that when someone tells me I can't talk about something, it makes me want to talk about it more. So if they want me to double down the MAGA cult followers versus the MAGA discerning followers, see, there's a difference. Make America great again, discerning followers like you, me, and the audience. And then the few that want to be MAGA cult members, the more they email me negative, the more I'm doubling down, tripling down. But we only got 3 negative emails out of huge numbers last night, historically high numbers. I think we're seeing many, many people awaken to the fact that we have a serious problem in this second term, 9 months in. Your thoughts before we move on to Hamas?
I would say there's a huge number of your audience, Brannon. The reason I say that, and yes, I also received some very kind messages from your audience through my social media, email, those who had my cell phone number, a huge number of positive feedback. But the reason I say your audience, and that's credit to you and them for them to have the open mind to learn, for you to dabbling down and reporting facts. But the reason I narrowed down to just your audience is you should check out my Facebook. The level of attack, I mean, literally attack verbally, accusations on my page tells a different story. I don't think the huge number we need as a nation is happening, because there are other people out there who are putting out lies, half-truth, cover-ups, majority of them who identify as conservatives, as Christians. You know, they twist yesterday's 21-point deal. I read headlines on some of the unbelievable active high names of anti-Sharia movement praising this 21-point deal, Brannon. And so do their followers. And I'm talking some of the names that you already know them, your audience probably know them. They're with like millions of followers and subscribers. They were praising this 21-point deal. They weren't calling it what it was.
Well,
so unfortunately, we need more of you.
Well, let's keep waking the people up. I dealt with this today on radio, but I want to bring it up. Point 18. An interfaith, this is one of the points for this plan. An interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. Okay, why do we need an interfaith dialogue to do that? If the issues stand on their own, economically, politically, national security-wise, human rights-wise, whatever they might be, then why can't they stand on their own? Why do we have to have an interfaith dialogue? You know that 2017 is when I became all about fighting interfaith dialogue, when Yasser Qadi, who I think is a Jew-hating, Holocaust-denying, Hitler-defending, jihadi-preaching imam, who had a mosque down the road, now went to Plano, Texas, to build, I guess, this 402-acre compound. In 2017, I became very vocal about him having interfaith dialogue with John MacArthur and Phil Johnson of Grace to You's buddy, James White. And we got criticized for pointing it out. So since 2017, interfaith dialogue has been on my radar. And Syed Khatib, one of the leading scholars from Muslim Brotherhood, said that interfaith dialogue is a one-way street to bring the non-Muslim to their side, not the other way around. So is this going to be a process to convert Jews to Islam? Number one. Number two, is it laying the foundation for really what you see, what is it, in Abu Dhabi where President Trump went, where you have the synagogue, the mosque, and the church, this interfaith dialogue? I mean, to me, this seems to be laying the foundation for what Antichrist is going to come and do and then confirm a peace treaty. Comment on all that, please.
I would say, yes, 100% agreed with what you're saying. Now, why do they need okay, let me pull a Annie Cyrus here for a minute. Why do they need any of those 20 points? They don't. They shouldn't be offered. But the interfaith is pushed in there because you're familiar with this hadith. Many of your audience are. But Sahih al-Bukhari 29:26 says that the hour will not arrive until Muslims fight the Jews, and the stones will say, "Oh, you Muslim, there's a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill it." When when that is your order by your Allah, of course there's a need for interfaith dialogue, because you either need to convert these Jews or you have to fight them and kill them all. The meaning, we need to keep something in mind, Brannon. When we use English terminology for certain things, we need to keep in mind in Islamic cult, the meaning of words are very different. We say interfaith dialogue to coexist peacefully. To them, interfaith dialogue is one of the chapters of Taqiyya, to further the cause of Allah, where you allow such a thing as peaceful coexistence to be opened up so you can sit there and either cherry pick and manipulate verses of the Quran to feed someone lies and convert them, or you try it and when it failed, give them a chance to be a dhimmi. In case of a Jew, faster turn into convert or die. So the meaning behind a lot of these words are different. There is, yesterday on your show, I said, you asked me if I think the new Gaza is going to be built this way or that way. I said no, because the new Gaza will not be built because Hamas is not going to agree to these points.
And what's the latest?
And the latest is they are not going to agree to these points. And the number one rejection was exactly what I called yesterday, which was disarming Hamas. They have pointed out 3 points that they don't want to work with. Number one is disarming. And then the second thing, they are actually opposing the transitional government that Trump bragged about, that it wasn't his idea and he's a very busy man, but everybody wants him to be the leader of the transitional government, cooperating with his good friend and a good man, Tony Blair. They're opposing that as well. They're calling it another or a new occupation, which this time, for once, they are right. It is none of United States of America or United Kingdom or France or Sweden or Italy or any of those countries' business to govern Gaza border. It is solely the Israeli people's business and nobody else's. So they're rejecting those two right off the bat. They have said that they are ready to continue the war unless the 4 items, these 2 were announced, but they want 4 items removed, not renegotiated, completely removed from the 20 plans, and they will reconsider it. Now, President Trump also comes and says, I only gave them 3 or 4 days to make their decisions. President Trump, they already made their decision. Why are you manipulating American people? Why? If I know they rejected it, Brannon, don't you think President Trump know they rejected it?
I would hope so, but sometimes he doesn't know things we know. The press ask him questions, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and we're going,
what? Yeah, but this one is his deal. This is his everlasting peace.
He apparently lives in a bubble.
I strongly believe this is another his diplomatic move. He's not telling people that they immediately rejected the offer because he wants to go back and renegotiate some of the parts and try to salvage this deal. He knows they rejected it because guess what? The negotiator from Hamas contacted the Qatar negotiations on behalf of US, and the Qatar negotiator must have contacted person. I know some of my information come to me a couple of hours before most people, or even sometimes a couple of hours before White House, but it has been 8.5 hours since, 8.5 hours since Hamas announced the rejection. So for President Trump to still say they have 3 to 4 days to decide, I think it's another layer of lie, and it is a lie. As Christians, we're not supposed to say white lies are okay or call lies diplomacy. It's a lie. He's lying to public until he can figure out a way to get this deal done. Because again, priority is for him to make these deals. When he was giving his speech this morning to top leaders of our military, he already said, possibly I did number 8, which is the longest and worst of all wars that I ended. He's already putting the word out there on his speeches.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to give up, not because he cares for Jews, not because he cares for Americans, not because he cares for Palestinians, quote unquote. He cares for this deal because that's going to be number 8. That's going to give him the credit of everlasting peace in the Middle East. But as of right now, Hamas has rejected it. Like I said last night, they will reject.
Well, and then I want to go to number 9 of the plan. Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people in Gaza. Technocratic. So
let me ask you this: how many technocratic?
Just further proof of what I predicted yesterday on radio before I saw this plan, that they were going to use digital technocracy, which is why they want Tony Blair involved. And they're going to use this to control Gaza. And let me tell you something. If you can do this technocratic system in Gaza and bring peace, stability, deal with the extremists, whatever you want to call them, terrorists, extremists, right, left, whatever. This will be the model for the world. We were able to bring peace and stability to the most controversial conflict in modern history through this technology. Imagine what we can do, Americans, with Chicago, Portland, name the city. I will not be shocked if at some point they're able to get this done over there and use it as a test case for saying, if we can bring peace there, we can bring peace anywhere with this new system. Annie?
I would 100% agree with you, but I would also say they picked the very wrong place to try to do this. They would have had a better chance to, let's say, talk to Abu Dhabi governor and say, we're going to buy part of your city and turn it into that. Mm-hmm. That would have been a better chance. That again, what Trump, at this point, I would say even Netanyahu, last night I was asked, how come you're not calling out Netanyahu? There you go. I am. Last night topic was about America, not about Bibi. I am extremely disappointed in him for even agreeing to these points. And I go back to what you've been repeatedly saying, that for anyone out there who walks around and say Netanyahu runs Trump and Israel run Trump's, come on, look at these points and how they twisted Bibi's hand, knowing he's winning the war. His troops are halfway through Gaza already. Mm-hmm. Why would he agree to it? That comes back to, unfortunately, again, he's another politician who has somehow managed to constantly be reelected through chaos. So there you have it. For those of you who criticize me for not calling him out for his mistake. But all of them, their misunderstanding of situation at Gaza is, again, this isn't Hamas. This isn't Hezbollah. This isn't Houthis or IRGC. This is Islam. This is Islam that's fighting them there. They can't. They won't be able to achieve what they think they want to achieve. Yes, if they achieve it, you're very correct. But I extremely highly doubt they'd be able to even start the first step of rebuilding Gaza into their 50-minute city, let alone finishing it. And again, they're not dealing with Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi or Qatar or Kuwait, meaning players who fund terrorism and are more lenient towards playing diplomacy. They're dealing with the actual soldiers of Allah. They call themselves Hezbollah. Those are soldiers of Allah. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. They literally guard the Islamic revolutionaries. You can't, there is no price for these people to accept your offers. They are soldiers. They take orders, and they take orders from Sahih al-Bukhari. They take orders from Quran through muftis and supreme leaders.
All right, well, keep us posted, Annie. It sounds like the deal right now is not going to happen, but I'm sure they're going to renegotiate and keep going, right?
That's the thing. This 20 points will not happen. They're going to keep buying. Again, Brannon, it's been 9 months, almost 10 months since Trump came to office. Do we have the hostages?
Nope.
Do we have a permanent ceasefire?
Nope.
This is what I'm hoping people will start seeing. What you're seeing is not somebody trying to put an end to this issue. No, this is all buying time and buying more time so they can have more check marks next to their name in the history book of attempting and trying. These momentarily 1 minute, 5 minute, 10-minute celebrations are just shiny objects. People need to see through them.
And they're distracting us from a lot of other things going on.
Yes, I don't know how much time I have, but I want to say something, and I know your audience will understand where I'm coming from. We know for a fact, Brannon, you have had experts such as Todd Bensman on your show and Dave Gobbets on your show. You know for a fact they are active IRGC, meaning Iranians were tied to IRGC inside United States of America. And Trump administration have literally said Iran is still the danger. They're funding terrorism. They have their sleeper cells in America, yada, yada, yada. But somehow Trump administration decide to make another deal, separate deal, different deal with Islamic Republic of Iran's mullahs, the regime. This is going completely unnoticed. I will give credit to Fox News for actually reporting on it. We made a deal with Tehran that up to 400 Iranians will be deported from U.S. through Qatar, names repeating themselves, into Tehran. Up to 400 Iranians will be deported under the immigration law and through ICE arrests. The first 120 of them were already shipped out yesterday. They are already in Qatar, being transitioned by Qatar government, meaning confirm identity, and then put in next plane to go to Tehran. Let me ask you a question, Brannon. Why would a Trump administration suddenly come to an agreement with the mullahs that they call all sort of names? And they say they are the most dangerous in the Middle East and they should be taken out, and we don't want to do diplomacy with them. Why would they agree with this regime to hand them 400 Iranians? And out of those 400 Iranians that are going to be deported, and the 120 that were deported yesterday, not a single one of them was arrested Iranian in our presence who spied for Iran's regime or had ties to IRGC.
In other words, they were Iranians like you or Shahram?
Some of them were, yes. Some were Christians. Let me say that very clear without an accent, if possible. They deported Iranian Christians to Islamic Republic of Iran.
They'll be killed once they land, imprisoned and then killed.
Well, the administration has apparently said that we have their words that these people will be safe. And again, let me ask you, since when Trump administration take mullahs' words for it? We have one, I can confirm myself that one of the 120 loaded in the plane yesterday and sent, who's in Qatar now, on their way to Iran, was an Iranian ex-Muslim girl here with a student visa. Her visa was revoked. So yes, they're putting an umbrella that these deported people, 120, were majority. If you read even the government sentence, the ICE sentences are majority illegals. Brannon, not all of them, majority illegals. Now, those of majority illegals, majority of them, yes, they entered the country illegally. However, they actually went for asylum, got the court date, show up for their court, and did all the things they had to do. They just didn't have the final approval yet. And ICE decided to pull their cases from courts and revoke their asylum. Second, some of those illegals were here with work visa, and ICE revoked their visa because the work visa situations have changed now. But they didn't come yesterday. One of them, I know this person, here for 8 years through work visa, worked, paid taxes, had not even a traffic ticket. And Brannon, when I posted that on my Facebook this morning, I had people cheering, saying, excellent, this is what I voted for.
Without knowing the fact that some of them...
Oh, no, they knew the fact. The facts were in the post. I specifically said not all of them were illegals, and none of them had ties to Islamic regime. Their visas were revoked. And I had supporters of mine cheering this move. And this is what happens when blind support is on the table. People so badly want number of deportation, they're not noticing that ICE is coming up with loopholes to revoke visas of innocent, decent people to just meet the number. I will not let this go. You know, Brannon, I'm digging. I want to know why 400, who's on that list, and why did Trump administration shake hands with the mullahs to agree to ship 400 Iranians to Iran?
Did any of them include the pastor that we...
He is still in detention center. Thankfully, he has not been actually loaded to the plane yet. However, since they're loading him within the next week or two, there's a very good chance he will be loaded on one of those planes as well.
That we interviewed Amir about.
Yes. Again, you know I am against illegals. I am. But this was supposed to be picking up, wrapping up, and deporting criminals first. Not a single convicted or fired or under monitor of Iranian spies in America have been deported yet. But 120 Iranians, again, yes, some of them came in illegally. I will not refuse to acknowledge that. However, why did they suddenly become priority of deportation after a deal made with Tehran?
Annie, stay on it, will you? Very troubling.
You know, I mean, if you don't mind me saying this on air, I asked you to check in on me just in case if they pick me up.
Yes, I know, which I can't even believe we have to talk like that. But you're legal, but you're saying a judge could reverse your naturalization and they could put you on a plane back to Iran.
If they wanted to, they could. I remember last year, I kept saying, we can't let Kamala be elected because she will make a deal with Iran, revoke citizenship and naturalization of Iranians, and hand us over. Did I ever think I'm going to ask for you to check in on me to make sure I'm still in America under Trump? No, I didn't. What I thought Kamala Harris would do is what Trump administration just did.
And I'd like to know who's responsible for this.
Me too. I am working my way all the way up to Homan. I have written a few letters already today. I don't know if I get answers, but I would like to know who made that deal. Well, and why that deal was even made.
Send me that information because I know one of the guys working very closely with Homan.
Absolutely. I'll send those to you as well. But yes, I will keep digging and I will pile a list of every name that was deported. Either those legal, illegal Christians, Baha'is, ex-Muslims, We'll see if one of those 120 was even a Muslim Iranian, because I highly doubt it. Iran wouldn't want their soldiers back, would they? No, they would want dissidents back. So they could hang them at 5 a.m. every morning, making an example out of them, and tell the rest of us over here, watch out, because we could get you back if we wanted to.
All right, Annie, you need to stay on this. Let's keep reporting. As always, we appreciate what you do. LiveUpToFreedom.com, LiveUpToFreedom.com. Annie Cyrus. Thank you, Annie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brannon. Stay safe.
You stay safe. Wow. We'll be right back, folks.
Hello, I'm Brannon Howse. I want to thank you for all your support at wvwfoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at wvwfoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at wvwfoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.
News is moving faster than ever, and so are we. Worldview Tube brings you 24/7 live stream coverage and now real-time alerts when it matters most. Once you have the Worldview Tube app installed, exit the app and navigate your way to Settings. In Settings, locate the tab labeled Notifications. Select the Notifications tab. Scroll down until you locate the Worldview Tube app icon. Select the tab, and here you can turn on and customize your notification experience for the Worldview Tube app. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Turn on push notifications to stay informed. Every headline, as it happens,